everyone, my name is Manny and I am here with ESTNN, joined by the mid laner of TSM. No, that is not Bjergsen, that is Tristan, Power of Evil Shraga. After their win against Evil Geniuses, Power of Evil, how are you doing today?
I'm good. It was a stressful series, but I'm happy we pulled it out with a 3-1 victory.
Yeah, of course. And, obviously, if it's stressful for you guys, I think you also know that it was stressful for fans.
Of
Uh,
course.
uh, how was this, the tone for this series, right? You lost last week against Team Liquid, 3-1, and it was kind of close, but it showed a lot of misplays from you guys. It wasn't the cleanest of games. Maybe game one was like, oh, this is going to be a 3-0, but you kind of like had some slip ups. How was that for you guys?
Well, I feel like we definitely had a lot of mistakes throughout the series. I wouldn't say like a lot in one game specifically, but just they were kind of split evenly across the game. So we definitely need to review them and get rid of them. There were a lot of just bad 2v2s or random deaths, and we just need to figure these things out and hopefully fix them before next series against Spika or Hunter Thieves.
Yeah, of course. And so with that, do you think fans should be worried about kind of like the early mid fumbles we saw, or do you think they're simple enough that hopefully you do iron them out before next week?
They didn't seem to me like huge mistakes. They were like little judgmental decisions that they just looked off or they just looked wrong. So I would say we just need to review them and rewatch them and point them out to the individual players and try to make them see in a sense, so they can adapt it for future games. I don't think it's like a huge problem. I think it's just we need to be aware of these mistakes and the players need to not do them moving forward.
Of course, that's always the best. When avoiding mistakes. Last week we did get the chance to speak to Bjergsen about kind of like the whole team mentality, and we kind of saw you guys actually be in more comfortable picks. Even in throughout the drafts, you kind of didn't like to go for the rel or stuff that seems to have been so strong. Was there a reason for this? Were you just comfortable giving that away? You felt you had the right responses for it?
I think we had a pretty good draft plan. I feel like it was really obvious what both teams try to achieve. E.g. on the red side, they really they chose red side every time they lost, so they really wanted to get the solo lane counter picks. Like that was their entire goal of picking red side and getting these counter picks on mid lane and sometimes on top lane.
Right.
So and with banning the safe mid lane plans, so we could. And on blue side, your goal is to try to get the strongest jungler and trying to get safe picks so you can survive the early game and play it out in a stable game.
Yeah, of course. And obviously teams are kind of, I think they caught on that Azir is a no-go. It doesn't matter he got nerfed, and it doesn't matter no one else is playing it. If you see Power of Evil on the other team, you just definitely ban it. So he is one of the big control mages you play, but you obviously showcased there's Syndra, and how was that last game for you? You had some pretty clutch stuns and everything, especially those team fights. I know you tweeted out right after the game we had some huge team fights, but how was that? In the comms, was it crazy? Was it everyone just calm, or how's that for you guys?
Well, I'm playing for so many years now, and I started in Optic really calling and shot calling team fights, so I feel really comfortable navigating the team through team fights. So
of course.
Yeah, it was just really crazy. The last game was like micro decisions and these like little edge plays that could win and lose you the game, right? So
yeah,
it was just like a lot of team fighting calls, like kite back, focus this guy, like my stun is in 2. It was just really, it was somewhat stressful, but at the same time, I think our team fight communication is really calm. Where there's everyone saying a little bit, and then I speak up a lot about how we fight these team fights out. So
yeah,
it felt calm in a sense.
Oh, that's great to hear. I was kind of gonna ask you, who would you give like a golden star, or like a type of player of the game in the team for shot calling, for making these types of decisions? Is it been you really stepping up into this role, or is it like you taking turns, or you know um is there a
Well,
specific dynamic?
well, everyone has like every player has like kind of like their role in a team,
Hmm.
and so let's say like early games now mostly on Spika and coordinating objectives, stuff like that, right? So like early
Yeah.
games mostly on him, and then rotations it's kind of on like mid jungle support in the early game, changes to mid top normally in the mid game, and Teamfights is mostly on me. So like everyone kind of has like their roles to play and their part to
Okay.
play in the team.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it's just like everyone just has different responsibilities in a sense.
Right. That makes complete sense. And talking about responsibilities, how did that feel? Spika just being able to sneak into that Baron, just slapping it, smiting it down, kind of. I wouldn't say it saved you guys, right? I didn't think it was necessarily going to be putting you completely out of the game, but it really did halt kind of like this momentum that EG had.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember how it came to that situation. I felt like we were in a good spot, and it felt like we were starting to outscale them really well.
Yeah.
They I think they found some picks on I'm not sure if that was Swallow and Huni. So they really got that like 5v3 at the Baron, which was really hard to play out. I think Ina made an exceptional like flank again, where he like flanks me from behind and I don't even
Yeah.
see him coming and I die. So um the main thing here again is that we get caught and we die, and then we having this really difficult situation
Right.
where Speaker came up with the clutch hero play, so props to him.
Yeah.
Um, I think we need to fix, the I would say like the mistake that it comes from. We need to review that. I don't really remember exactly how it happened, and then hopefully fix that for the future games.
Right. And that makes complete sense. Now, you mentioned one of your old teammates, Ignar. You now have two old teammates coming over to NA, and you faced Alfari last week. It didn't quite work out. You were able to beat
Yeah.
Ignar this time around. How are you feeling? Is this kind of like the revenge tour, the Power of Evil revenge tour, getting misfits, knocked out left and right?
It's definitely funny. We lost against Safari, faced off against Igna, won. So maybe hopefully we can make it all the way and make it back up there, and maybe possibly face TL again and get our rematch. I feel it would be really fun, and I think we would hopefully be better prepared and
Yeah.
can take the dub against them.
I mean, you were close last year, right? I don't think people might remember that you actually had the lower bracket run as
Yeah.
FlyQuest last year. Like you yourself 1 year ago. Obviously different team, different setting, but TSM as an org did so, notably against you guys.
Yeah.
But are you guys feeling comfortable? Like, is it really the lower bracket comfort zone for TSM, or are you guys just kind of tense? Like, I don't know, is this meme going too far?
I definitely feel like we are not afraid and we're not scared. I feel like every player has had these lower bracket runs,
Right.
so we feel pretty comfortable overall. I wouldn't say that being in the lower bracket feels better than being in the upper bracket. That would be a lie,
Right. Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
it definitely makes the games matter a lot, and everyone just needs to put in their heart, right, and give their 120%. And if we can make it, we'll make it.
Yeah, and it makes sense, and it kind of feels that there is this grit, right? Like you guys are really grinding some of these games out. It does kind of seem like TSM seems to be the best come from behind team. The team seems kind of doomed, and then you guys got a miracle steal, or some plays, some Azir flanks that end up putting you guys right back in it. With that, I kind of want to transition real quick as kind of like a last touching point of you know you have some very big names, obviously, right? You have Huni, you have Sword Art, who have played in the LCK, the LPL, which a lot of people consider some of the best leagues in the world. Is TSM trying to recreate any specific style? Obviously, it's different. You guys are in NA. You have different styles stylistically that have to adapt. But are you guys trying to recreate something there, or is it just finding your own game style?
I definitely think we are just trying to play to our team identity and our team strengths. So we will not just adapt other regions or other maybe like comfort picks. Like we will just play to our strength, and if we think certain champions are a little better than others. Today's example, we felt like I don't think I played Syndra for like a week or two, like maybe like 2-3 weeks. But we actually felt like this series it might be a good pick against Jizuka and a safe pick against some of the champions that he can pull up with. I felt like it worked out pretty well, and we will just keep doing that, right? Like play to our team strength and team identity.
Yeah, and it seems that, we also have a new kind of pick that people might have to start considering in Nocturne Top. We did see in the LPL, and Huni still was able to really bring a lot of it to you guys, right? Like a lot of power to you guys, especially in the later fights. You were able to like pick out key members. To kind of finish off the interview, do you have anything else you want to say to fans that are really maybe struggling out here, kind of worrying that TSM might not make the lower bracket run? Is there anything you'd want to say to them?
Well, as you guys can see, we still have some stuff to work on. I feel like we were gonna review these games and try to take as much as we can into our next series. It's definitely not gonna be an easy road, but I know that all of us are committed, and we will try to make it all the way.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. TSM will try to make it all the way. I think that's more of a promise if you ask me. But with that, thank you so much, Power of
Thank you as
Evil.
well.
Best of luck in the rest of playoffs. Hopefully we do see more of you throughout it. I think Spika had mentioned last year that you guys like the TSM had played 30 games altogether, so maybe not complete 5 game bangers every time, but thank you so much. Best of luck in playoffs, and for everything else LCS, make sure to tune into ESTNN.